Hello everyone. This is my brand new 75-gallon Blue Dream shrimp tank, and we are into the first month of it. It is now 1 month old, and I think I'd like to show you guys, talk to you guys, show you guys and talk to you guys about some of the things that I look for in my new shrimp tanks and some of the things we do to fix that. Now, I do a few things in this tank that I usually don't do, or very rarely do, and I'll talk about that. So we'll talk about making sure it's cycled, because I did a quick cycle, and I said within about a month. Now it won't be, I said it wouldn't be fully cycled, but within about a month it'll be fully cycled. And that quick cycle, it allows you to get a little start on it instead of having to sit and wait. That gets the tank seated with life. And we'll talk about the shrimp and how they're looking. And then we'll talk about the plants. The thing I don't usually do with tanks, and I don't ever talk about, is fertilizing. So I'll talk about, for this tank, I am going to end up fertilizing. I have fertilized once a couple weeks ago, and it seemed to help. And we'll talk about that. I'm not a big tank tester. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't test. So the few times I do test is in new tanks to make sure everything is good. And I use these guys here. This is the ammonia test, and this is the nitrate and all that good stuff test. So, like I said, not a big tank tester, but there are times it's needed. And you need to make sure things are good before you continue on. Now, and this tank is pretty unique. I didn't mean to put this many shrimp in here when I started, so I probably won't even add any more shrimp in here. But I was pretty sure it would be just fine, and it looks like it has been. But let's go ahead and test and find out for sure, just so we know. Wash it around in here for 10 seconds or so. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. Shake off the excess. And what do we have here? But we are at 0. We are at 0. We have no ammonia problem. Yippee, yippee, yippee! So that is good. And that means we're cycled up. Alright, now that we know we ain't got any ammonia to worry about, let's take a look at these shrimp. Now, this is just a whole bunch of mixed babies out of my 40-gallon Blue Dreams tank ended up in here, and it looks like every single one of those survived. And it looks like there's been new babies born as well. There's some little teeny tiny guys. There's a few buried ones that ended up in here. And so we're getting baby survival. That's good. I didn't mean to put that many shrimp in here. And then the true test is buried females. And I was looking, and before I started making the video, I saw like a dozen buried females. There's a buried female on the sponge. I saw a buried female over here somewhere. But we are getting buried females. So that is super awesome. I'm gonna find some more of these buried females. Where'd they all go? That's probably where all the little baby shrimp was, because I saw a bunch of buried females in here not that long ago. But, I mean, as far as shrimp go, these guys are doing awesome. There will be some calling, about like it is with my 40-gallon breeder colony. That's my main Blue Dream colony. And the lighter substrate will make them appear less dark as well. Yeah, we got some little itty bitty guys. But everything is the shrimp. As far as the shrimp go, I couldn't ask for anything better. We got a bunch up here at the top. Here's a nice buried one. Right there. There she is. Look at all the shrimpies. So, all the ones that started off in here are doing good, and there's lots and lots of brand new ones too that are younger than a month old. So, I couldn't ask for anything better, and we have buried females. Oh, there's one. And get her on camera before she goes away. Where you at, girl? There she is. Here's a really nice buried one. Okay, so now we know that the shrimp are doing just fine. We've got the baby survival, we've got buried females, and we've got newborn shrimp. So there's not a whole lot more we could ask for as far as the shrimp go. So let's talk about the plant situation, algae, light, and that kind of stuff. Now, this is brand new. I just now discovered this today. There is some algae growing right here. We've got, now the first week or two, this this moss carpet I showed you guys how to do, it was getting lots of algae problems from like day 3, because this tank gets lots of light. I have more light on this tank than I do any of my other tanks. And this side of the tank, and there's already starting to be, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but there's some green spot algae starting over here. But the plan of that was, this is why we're going to talk about fertilizing, is this Ludwigia is supposed to grow up, grow crazy, be a great big huge bush, which it will be eventually, to cover up the filter, the pump, and all that. That's just supposed to be a great big wall of Ludwigia. And the mermaid weed, which is to be expected, is growing. It's growing, but nice and slow like mermaid weed does. But the moss is super the moss is ridiculously happy. There's not very much nitrates in here because I have not been feeding that much. That means, because it's a new tank, I don't want to get crazy with the feeding and mess up the cycle and end up having ammonia and nitrites. So there is not a whole lot going on in here, but clearly enough for all these shrimp to be perfectly happy. And then I'm sure more of these females will be buried when I start picking up the feeding, which today I will start doing that. I'll start feeding this tank a little bit more normal. But in the meantime, these stem plants especially need a little kick. Now, 2 weeks ago, when the moss was taken over, or the moss was getting taken over by the algae, I was using hydrogen peroxide. And then this part right here, mainly because this window and the light shining down here, the algae was real bad in the moss, and it just kept lifting up, and I got sick of dealing with it. And I planned on leaving that front part open anyway, because this all was filled in here to make a straight path, to make that look like more of a straight path. But I ended up having too many problems with the algae and it floating up. So then that made me realize this is out of balance. It's getting too much light and there's not enough nutrients in here. So then that's when I put some fertilizer in, and when I did, the moss just exploded into life. That was 2 weeks ago. And the stem plant started showing some signs of life. I mean, they've grown, but not a lot. And then last week I did not fertilize. And then this week I did a water change yesterday, and I didn't fertilize, but I think I'm going to. And that's what we're going to talk about now: how to fertilize. Now, like I said, I don't ever fertilize my tanks because over the course of time, it ends up just being spending money for me to trim plants and throw them in the trash because I make too many plants to deal with when I fertilize. So I just quit fertilizing. Now, except for new tanks like this, I will fertilize new tanks. And this is the reason why, because we're not feeding a whole lot. So we're not creating a whole bunch of waste and nutrients in the water. And the plants need some grow juice. They need their nutrients to grow. And I really want this Ludwigia to get going, to block out the natural sunlight coming in from the window right there. You can see it shining through that vinyl background. So hopefully that'll all get covered up in Ludwigia. Let's talk about fertilizing. So I have not fertilized my tanks regularly in years and years and years, and this is what I always fertilize with. I got Nilo CG from their line, and it's like, I think it was called like DI. I don't even know if it's available because I haven't bought any of this in years and years. I bought a whole bunch of it, and I quit fertilizing somewhere in the middle of using it all. And so this is my last. I don't have any more packets to make anymore. This is the last I've got, and this has probably been in this bottle for 3 years. Or maybe not that long, but it's been in there for a while. So this is your potassium, nitrate, phosphorus, your macros, and this works nice and easy. Since I'm not going to be fertilizing regularly, just off this tank to get off the just for this tank to get off the ground. And on the 75 gallon, I fill her all the way up. Dump some in. I didn't mean to pour it down the front of the tank. Dump some on that side. Over there. Over there. All right. So that is the macro dose. Now, realistically, I probably do not need the micros because of my hard water. And no, this does say it contains copper, but I've used this in shrimp tanks loads and loads and loads and never had any problems. So don't worry about that. Like I said, I do not regularly do this, just for brand new tanks to get going, to help the plants along. And so how this worked is they give you buy these dosing bottles, and then they send you packets. And then you add in 500 milliliters. Yeah, that makes a yucky cloud in the water. And when it comes down to the shrimp don't like it. And that's why I really do not like dosing fertilizers in my shrimp tanks. Now, I will tell you this: when you fertilize like this, you will need to do a little bit bigger water changes, and you need to make sure you test your stuff out a little bit more often, because your TDS can build up. You'll get too much stuff going on in your water, and that's not good. The shrimps don't like too much crazy stuff going on. And dumping fertilizer in there, and it's pretty crazy for them. That's why I just like to feed and let the food and the waste do its thing. There's a nice big buried mama shrimp. She's getting ready to plop. Looks like she might be getting ready to drop those babies. If I can get a shot of them. I don't know if I can. I don't know if she's gonna cooperate. Come on, girl. She's a really big good one. So this is my food dish. I just been getting just one little pinch like this. A little bit on this side and the rest on that side. That's all I've been feeding this tank while it's been getting going. And you can see it rain down the powdered food. This is my own food mix. It is available on my website. And look how it just rains down in there in the moss. And what the shrimp don't eat up right away will sit there and form biofilm with the nutrients it provides. So overall, 1 month in, I would say this tank is doing really, really good. And I'm not even going to put any more shrimp. Usually at the 1 month stage, that's when I start dumping in a whole bunch of shrimp. Like I said, accidentally ended up putting too many in here, and I'm glad it worked out. I was feeding super, super lightly, and I'm still not going to get too carried away because the shrimp are doing just fine. I will start feeding a little bit more now, though. Now that we're a month in, and really get this colony booming. It looks super good. Let's get these stem plants going, and then I'll be completely satisfied. I'll check back in on this tank in about a month. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.